Oh, all right. What's up? You just texted me.
Uh,
I guess you can just tell me now.
Hi.
Hey, I always love to see you, but not under these circumstances, boo boo.
No, I just heard from like several of my friends sending me the video again. Um and it's like all catching on and it's spiraling now. So this will be the topic of conversation. And as Minneapolis gets even fierier. Um yeah, not good. Not good. What were your thoughts, Al?
I mean, I saw it and I've been particularly guarded. We'll play it in a second. I've been particularly guarded weirdly because, and this is kind of an indictment on the world that we live in. I was just like, I was kind of checking to make sure it wasn't AI
Right.
because I know that there would be people trying to do that. And when I looked at it, I was like, the voiceover and just it was like, I was like, it wasn't AI. So then I texted SAR and I texted you guys, and Michael Dean was sending us information. And they were like, the man approached him with a gun. First of all, after what happened with Renee Good, your word means nothing. It means nothing. And then Michael Dean was like, oh, there's a picture of we'll call it a pew pew because we don't want to get the stream taken down. And so I was like, oh, well, let me see what kind of weaponry he had. I thought it was a video of him holding it. And it's
Right.
just like, it's just a weapon on like a table. I'm like, that could have been anybody's. And when you watch the video, I was like, maybe I missed something. So I watched it again. The man is subdued. There's like 6 guys around him. And let's just play the video now. I can see the anger. And colleagues, what's up, y'all? I appreciate you guys even drop it. I was just like, I text Tory and I was like, we just can't let this ride. This is maybe the story of our time. So let's take a look and see. I didn't even get a chance to label these clips. That's how quickly I was doing these. All right, Tory. So let's do this, girl. All right. I think this is it. Maybe.
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
Oh shit! What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah. Tori, and I'm not playing this to be exploitative. You know what really got me about this video? And I won't show the shooting again. But right before that, there's a guy who's like hitting him on the top of the head with something. That would have been enough for brutality in its own. And I'm really hesitant to play it again. I'm not into murder porn, but I do want people to look and see the brutality before the shooting, and then after he is shot. There's no question he does not have a weapon. There's no question he is incapacitated. The guy empties his effing clip, Tori. He empties the clip, but like, watch the guy who approaches like where the man's head would be, and he just hits him with like, I don't know, some kind of solid object like 4 or 5 or 6 times.
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
I don't know what well, let me just say this. And I want this to be recorded. Anybody that voted for this, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. Don't come to my shows. Don't follow me on social media. You are not a human being. You voted this in. And don't act like this was about your effing taxes. This guy that's been bankrupt 8 times, who ran the country into the ground the first time. You brought him back for this. So own it and while enjoy it. Because this is what else were we here for with Trump the second time? Except to make sure that we can all say the R word again. And you women know where you stand. I just, you know, if it really was about economics, Tor, the first thing, his first action when he came back the second time was get rid of DEI. That was because everybody that was on board with this the second time knew what this was about. We saw this for 4 years, and you went and voted this back in, and now y'all going to fall out your chair like, we can't believe this is happening. Let me read what the Minnesota Star Tribune said. Tory, unfortunately, I think we can all guess that the man has died. And Tory, I wanted to know what you thought about this being our legal eagle. The feds tried to get the local police to clear the scene. And the head of the local police was like, F that, we're not going anywhere. And this is the second time, because remember, they removed Renee Good's car. And you cannot conduct an investigation without that car, because you need to be able to run ballistic tests with that car to simulate like what happened. So there's a reason. It's like if I broke in your apartment and I know that I did that, my first thought is like, let me go to Tory's place while the cops are there, destroy the scene, spill some bleach somewhere, stomp my foot track. Just you destroy the scene when you know you're guilty. And that's clearly what they were doing. So, Tory, I've been talking a lot. I got more fired up than I thought I was. But I just, at what point? How many people do we have to see murdered per week now? Yeah.
I mean, now we're just watching the military murder our citizens in the street in broad daylight, and it's getting worse and worse. I want to bring up a few points. The local police eventually went out and blocked out the area, so it's a crime scene now. They were initially, just like Al said, told that they were like, get away. The local police chief was like, absolutely not. So again, you see tension between law enforcement in the city itself, between local and federal. The second thing I want to say is the agents themselves didn't seem to realize that there was a shot going on. So he shot into other agents at that moment. Then
because
just
they're untrained, you know what's, you know who those people are behind those masks. They're not trained.
I mean, they were like, right. Yeah. And then the idea of emptying the clip when the guy's down and the agents are off, all of this needs to be taken into consideration in the investigation. Was he a threat for 8 armed men to be taking him down? Did he pose a mortal threat to you that you have used a taser, you couldn't have used something else, that you had to shoot him dead, will be looked at. And at this point, JD Vance is now in charge, we can see, of running the background, trying to get everything to calm down about ICE. And he's not having a good go at it. And this only adds to that situation. Talk about escalating tensions in Minneapolis. If you saw Minnesota in like minus 10 degrees weather, had thousands of people out on the streets yesterday, braving the cold, coming out against ICE. There was a Boston ICE party on the 250th anniversary of the Tea Party where they threw ICE into the same harbor. This will only uptick the anger and get the Carolyn Levitts and the Kristi Noems to have to go back on the Jake Tappers and say this was justified before there's even an investigation. But what you're seeing is the guy's reaction in the video, the voiceover. Did they just kill him? They killed him. They killed him. They killed him. That's the level of shock we're at now, watching the military murder our own citizens. That's ICE. That's not our military yet, right? Yeah. I'm so sorry. You're right. Federal. You're absolutely right. You're right. An immigration force that seems to be out of control. You're absolutely right. And so
out of control and unchecked. Completely. Tory.
Because what will happen is we still haven't heard where Jonathan Ross is. There's been no arrest. We don't know how the investigation is going. Again, that's the man, in my opinion, who murdered Renee Good. At this point, there is another woman, Al, taking video if you watch. So there's going to be multiple angles of this.
The woman, she's kind of against the wall on the other side of him.
A red shirt on. Yeah. And so
here, let me play it one more time. What do you want to say about it?
No, I was just going to say you're going to see multiple angles, and you're going to see one really up close because she's quite close to the gentleman that actually lost his life, and he is an American citizen. Not that matters. Not that matters.
Okay, let's do it.
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know.
What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah, Tori, the level of trauma that American citizens have been subjected to in just the last couple of weeks, the people, I have this video that I wanted to play for you, and it might seem kind of like, yeah, of course this is going on, but this is what's going on in Minneapolis right now. I think we can all guess it's not great. Let's see.
Jesus! Yeah!
It's like a
Tori, it looks like a war zone. I did comedy there
Yeah.
a month and a half ago, Tori. And look at that city, and it just like the reason that I wanted to play it was just like you took the words out of my mouth. Like that looks like footage that you would see in other countries that we determine is that that happens over there. People throwing rocks and throwing back tear gas canisters against citizens that I feel like have a right to be upset, having another citizen murdered in the last 3 weeks. I want to play this for you. It's really quickly, but it's really quick. But Tori, this is what we were talking about, and we were not trying to be alarmist when we said it last week. But there's like people are at their threshold, and let's take a look at what this guy has to say.
It's January 24th, and ICE just murdered another Minnesotan. They emptied their entire clip on his lifeless body. This is a declaration of war.
Can you blame him?
No, I mean, I think again, this is going to escalate into people trying to defend their lives. And when people try to defend their lives and their city and their country and their values and their rights, it's going to get more and more violent when we go up against these people. And I see a lot of people saying like there was a gun, he pulled the gun. Again, that's not very clear in the video, we understand, but when you're on the ground huddled over by 8 people, I find it really hard to believe you felt that you were in mortal danger, enough so that you shot into the 8 agents and they did a jump back.
Some of them ran. Did you see the one guy run?
Yeah, because at that point it was just out of control, but he himself was not a mortal threat. Also, you're allowed to have guns. You are allowed to have certain weapons with you. If he did have a gun, and again, I'm saying if, because I don't trust the situation of what they're saying right now, it still doesn't give someone a right to then kill you. So I don't know if he reached for the gun. All of this will have to be seen. I didn't see anything like that. I saw them pummeling 8 men on one and then shooting him a full clip out. It seems like not a tactic, that seems out of control. This is going to ignite a strong response in Minnesota and across the country, because things are escalating, not de-escalating. And remember why ICE was brought in, y'all, to calm the riots, to take down the crime in Minnesota that's at a 30-year low. All of this was to de-escalate. And what we're seeing is a ramp up. And that seems to have been the plan all along.
Well, initially they said that this was about fraud. Remember that Nick Shirley kid did the viral video that has been debunked 10,000 ways about there being a fraudulent daycare. And he went to a daycare. If you guys haven't seen the video, I hope you haven't, because you don't follow this he's like a young MAGA video influencer. And he went to this daycare, knocked on the door and goes, "This is a fraudulent operation. There's no kids inside. And this is the fraud that we're seeing." That they then interviewed that. First of all, he went before they opened. They then interviewed the people that were inside of the daycare. And as kids were going in and out, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't open the door at this daycare for random white dudes with video crews with them and no kids enrolled here. We don't do that. So of course we're not going to open the door for him." That video, of course, it doesn't matter what the truth is. It's almost like the Venezuelan gangs or the Haitians eating dogs. or that BS carjacking in your hometown of DC. It doesn't matter what the lie is to get people there. That BS carjacking got troops in your city. That BS video that guy posted got the federal agents there. And first of all, you don't use ICE to investigate fraud. That's for boring. Who investigate that? The FBI guys would do that. They'd be looking through receipts and computer records. They come and seize your hard drive. They don't come with masks on. So it just tells you right there, Tory, no matter what the reason, it was not true. And the fact that they're there, we haven't heard a word about fraud. So why are you guys there? I don't know if you saw, Tory, they said that the local police have called in all active officers that didn't work overnights. So this is also what we sadly predicted this week, girl, is that it's eventually going to be how long before there's a dust up between ICE and a police officer? How long? They're already trying to assert authority over people that have worked in these communities for their entire careers.
Yeah, I mean that's when things get chaotic is when there's no rule of law and you don't know who's in charge because each law enforcement is fighting each other, the local police versus the federal police. I don't know about the fraud. I don't know enough about it. I do know there seems to have been some kind of daycare situation, but again,
yes, there was a fraud case that was prosecuted. There was I believe 89 or 98 people. I got numbers dyslexia, so it's one of those two. There was a white woman at the top of it. There were a lot of Somalis. These people were all found guilty and prosecuted. The case is over. That was due to misappropriation of COVID funds. That's a case that has been dealt with. Mm-hmm. So this was just a daycare that didn't open the door for a rando maniac. And because of this, we now have a homicide that has taken place inside of an ICE detention facility, one that we know of this week. And we have two dead Minnesotans who one died in her car. And you know what's interesting, Tory, about both of these murders, and I don't know if interesting is the right word. Both times when the guns are discharged, it really showed me what it looks like when people are trained and when they're not. Because when you do see, whether it be a soldier or a trained police officer fire their weapon, the way that they remove when it's done properly, the way that they remove their weapon, the way that they warn the person a few times, the way that the procedure works, it looks like, and it sounds weird to say, like a professional is taking care of an emergency situation. In the Renee Good situation, when he shot into the car window, first of all, police procedure is that you never shoot at somebody driving, because what happened to Renee Good's vehicle can happen. It's like now they're incapacitated and they possibly have their foot on the accelerator of a 10,000-pound car. So you do not shoot under any circumstances, especially when there's an officer in front of said vehicle. And both times when you watch the Renee Good shooting, there's the shots and the officers react like people that haven't heard a lot of gunshots. And that video, when there was a shot, it seems to be against protocol because there were your people standing around and people ran away the way like people at a nightclub would.
Yeah. I mean, the officer that did, in my opinion, murder Renee Good was a trained vet, which is even scarier just to think about. I do.
He was a firearms instructor. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. For everyone who says like they don't resist then, or you should have gotten the criminals off the case, or the illegal aliens and this and that, and you're making excuses, you're still excusing an American person shooting and murdering seemingly someone down on the ground and another American citizen. Not that that matters, but I'm just saying, if you think that you can excuse behavior like this because they're illegal immigrants, that isn't how like the law works. That's not how the Constitution works. That's not America works. We don't live in a military despot. We don't have that situation. I don't know what you're trying to defend for these ICE agents, but it certainly goes against both Republican and Democrat. It goes against our way and our laws happening in this country. So I don't understand they should have just done this. They should have not resisted. They should have done that. Like, just use your eyes for a second. Use your common sense. Could they not have used other force like tasers? They had 8 people on top of him. Did they have to release a full clip just in front of all the other 8 officers? Did that really need to happen when things they're meant there to de-escalate? So I understand you guys have feelings and that they're very angry and you're like, yeah, they shouldn't be here. And that's not an excuse for killing another human being. That doesn't stand up in any kind of court. That doesn't stand up in any kind of way in America. So I just, I don't think those excuses and like that you're proud and that you're like ice baby, like this will be judged very harshly in history. Like these guys are not on the right side of history. And for you to say like, yeah, they should have done this, they should have done that. That doesn't matter. You don't release a full clip on someone down on the ground. You can't excuse that. So I see, like, again, it wouldn't have happened if Biden wouldn't have let the border open. Like, it's just because someone breaks the law. I understand they break the law. You don't have the right, any police officer, to shoot them dead. That's not how it happens. So I unfortunately, there's no excuse, no excuse for this. I know there will be a investigation, but you're going to get, already today, we're going to see people like Kristi Noem and JD Vance trying to back up and like showing us the gun. Like, again, don't believe your eyes. What we just saw, the man was on the ground and he was being pummeled in the head by another officer. Did a full clip of a gun need to be released into this human being?
Well, Tori, I don't even know how much you need to go on. You said it when you said there were 8 people on top of him. That's 3 away from a football team.
Yeah.
That's 3 people away from what will be on the field tomorrow for the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. Do you have enough guys for this American citizen? Who is he, Thor? Yeah. Stop it. It's a ridiculous argument just on its face. But you said something and it made me think about something I had not considered yet. And what differs between this and the Renee Good alleged murder that we believe is a murder is that they didn't get a chance to clear the scene this time. So the law enforcement,
thank God for the local police. Yeah, thank God for the police.
They'll be able to carry out an investigation now. Yeah. That begs the question, Tori. Well, they can still do it.
Yeah, they can do a state investigation, absolutely. And if he is found guilty, there is no pardoning, which is what the Philadelphia governor and mayor are both saying. If you come into our city, we will put cuffs on you, and you will not get pardoned as ICE agents because you can't pardon a state crime. I'm just very, very happy that the state police stepped in and created a crime scene, backed it up. That was not able to happen with Renee Good. I also heard that Renee Good allegedly was alive and breathing.
Yes, for 8 minutes.
For 8 full minutes when they did not allow a physician who is her neighbor to come in and check vitals, even start CPR. So again, all you saying like they have the authority. No one has the authority to shoot someone on the ground, even if they're a cop. Like, cops have been put to jail because of this. Let's think Derek Chauvin didn't even use a gun. That is still not allowed within the authority. You don't get to shoot just another human being because you want to, because in my opinion, from seeing it, I agree. There needs to be investigation. The man posed no mortal threat. I didn't see anyone aiming a gun at them, looking for, like, I just didn't see that. Again, there will be investigation, but you can't not at least question this shooting. This at least, for all of you Trumpers out there telling me I'm an idiot, I want you to just, any kind of critical thinking here. You don't have to say it was wrong or all that, but you have to question that this isn't the American way, that this possibly cannot be the way you think, that immigration officers who don't have jurisdiction over American citizens can treat people. This violates the 4th, the 5th, the 6th Amendment, and the First Amendment. So again, just use critical thinking and question if possibly this murder, in my opinion, or alleged murder is okay. I mean, you guys are just blindly accepting it. When does it get too much for you? And when you're like, all right, that's uncomfortable. Like, when does that have to happen for you where they cross the line? Because you keep moving the goalpost back and back and back. Well, he was fighting with it, with the, 8 people on the ground, and you shoot a full clip into the group of agents. Like, that seems wildly out of control for me.
Yeah.
So, I know you guys don't believe in this, and I'm trying to respect your thoughts, but I would just hope that you question any kind of shooting of someone in broad daylight when they were on the ground covered by 8 other agents. That should just be, as an American, you are like, I have further follow-ups. I have follow-up questions about this. That's the bare minimum that you can do. They do not have plenary authority where there's no thought. They do have a rule of law to follow. And so that's just my opinion here, is that
I have a question. Why is Border Patrol and ICE in downtown Minneapolis?
right?
Aren't they supposed to be protecting the border of the country? Isn't that what they're for?
And they're responding that there are a lot of illegal aliens. I shouldn't say, I don't like that word, aliens. And I don't even like illegal. They're non-citizens that need to be picked up and arrested because they've created a crime. But if you watch Trump when he first started to go off in the campaign, it was all about drug dealers and gang violence and stopping that specifically. And we've gotten to the point of not only are U.S. citizens being taken down, this man was a U.S. citizen, but we're seeing mothers, we're seeing children, we're seeing peaceful
law enforcement.
people.
Did you see the black man in Lewiston, Maine, yesterday?
No, I didn't
last
see.
night. You didn't. He was a correctional officer. He had papers. He worked for the state as a correctional officer. He had papers to work here in the United States legally until 2029. He was pulled over by ICE last night and detained, taken away. The guy, and I listened to an interview when I was coming back from my show last night, and there was a white dude recorded it, and he said that after they took the man away, they left his car there, windows down. They were like, it's literally 10 degrees. His keys are in the ignition. His personal effects are in the car. So he, after they cleared the scene and just left the car there, Tori, just left like that HBO show, The Leftovers, where people just vanished. Yeah, this guy's car is sitting there idling. And so he just got off work, by the way, too, working in a correctional facility, which I'm sure is not the most pleasant job. And he gets arrested by ICE on the way, arrested and detained. So this guy takes his car, parks it in a public lot, goes through, finds his full name, finds his wife. And this guy was just so shaken up because he was the one that alerted this guy's wife. He went to her house and he was like, she was pregnant. And, he was her only source. It was the breadwinner of the house, has now been taken away. He's deep in the system. He's probably been sent to Texas. And so what does she do? What is what's going to happen with all this? They're picking up people that are here lawfully. And I think, Tori, you hit it on the head. Trump initially was like, we're going to go get the drug dealers and all the killers and all that kind of stuff. I have my doubts about whether they knew this going in or not. But guess what? I watched every season of Narcos. Tori, did you see the houses that they were in? The private jets? Guess where you didn't see them, Tori? In the Home Depot parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of people that are working for the cartels, which are connected worldwide, which make billions of dollars a year, that are also working on a side hustle at Home Depot, building decks. It's not a thing. And they realized that it wasn't a thing, but they were like, oh, well, Stephen Miller put a quota, 3,000 people. So you got to meet that quota, dog. And if that quota isn't a narco terrorist, maybe it's that woman in the daycare.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's this guy coming out of Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a 5-year-old getting off the bus, going to meet his dad. Whoever. Numbers, just get your numbers. And I think that's the point. When you put a quota on something with no parameters around it, it's just like, if I was like, look, Tori, you need to give me $100 every day, and I don't care how you get it to me. That might be a tough task for a lot of people. And that just means maybe after you've cleaned out your bank account, maybe you got to go to that old lady across the hallway, go through her purse. Maybe you got to do what you got to do. And when you give such wide parameters, you know what's going to go on. And what's going to go on, it means terrorizing citizens. And this is exactly what's going on. I'm just curious to know where this is going to end up, because the fact that they're calling in all the cops, that means something. And the fact that ICE isn't backing down and actually thinks this is funny and is walking around the streets still MFing people and smacking people's phones out of their hands, judges, anybody brown. There's only so long, Tory. Think about the American Revolution.
I said it's like the shot heard around the world. That's Renee Good shot. I agree with you. And by the way, I understand that people always bring up Laken Riley and may she rest. I understand that people are upset because someone who is a non-citizen killed a U.S. citizen. I understand that. That's still, like, if you have ever read the Constitution at all and you claim to be patriots here, like, that doesn't give you the right to start shooting people or going into people's houses without warrants, or trying to seize people without giving them a reason for it, or torturing them in detention centers. Like, I understand your point that happened and that's terrible, but
I don't,
none of this
I don't understand that point. And I'll tell you why, Tory, because and I want to cut you off. Don't lose your train of thought, but like, we don't do that with white men. Dylan
exactly.
Roof
I was going to say,
Dylan Roof walked into a church.
Shooters. Yeah. We don't then say, then we can take down any white person, because that's the majority of mass shooters are white men. So your excuse of always bringing up Laken Riley, of like one person who is horrible. I'm so sorry that happened to her whole family, but that doesn't give open fire to the rest of this country and their officers who have, again, no jurisdiction other than immigration to be pounding the streets, ripping people out of cars. All of this goes against the Constitution that you all pretend to be backing up, saying ICE is nice. These are the guys we voted for. This is what I want. I want order. Get up. You have not read, or you are uneducated about what rights it means. When we sing the national anthem and we sing about this country, it's because we were given those rights, and other countries don't have that. And we are godforsaken lucky that we have those rights. And for you to just ignore that is the most un-American thing you could do. It's actually apatriotic. And you want to be living in a military North Korean type place. That's un-American. And we fought those dudes in World War II. That's called fascism. And I'm asking for an investigation. This guy had 8 people on top of him. He was pounded in the head and then shot with a full clip, dead on the street in front of with people all around. That can't be thoughtful to you that that's a good idea, that seemed like that was the right thing to do. That can't possibly in your mind think, yeah, that's how I want my law enforcement or whoever to be able to react. Like, I cannot believe you really think that in your head. And if you do, that's an un-American thought, to be super honest with you. So
yeah, and I think that it's fine to troll on the internet. Feel free. It's a free country. Remember that, just like you're saying, Tory. But I will say this for all the people. Well, 2 things. I'll get to Laken Riley second. Everybody can have fun on the internet and like, yeah, I'm glad they unalived, and yeah, you should have been listen to the cops, whatever. Eventually, this is going to come to where you are, and it's going to affect your life. What do my favorite line that I always used to quote on DBL, and it was in Die Hard when that cokehead guy was with the terrorists in Die Hard, and he was like, I can get Bruce Willis to come out of the ventilation system, and he couldn't get Bruce Willis to come, and the guy shot him over the phone, and the terrorist picks up the phone and says, pretty soon we'll get somebody you do care about. And that's what's going to happen, because at first it always starts out as the others, bruh. That's how this works, except for the first time ever, they did start with a white woman, which I don't think was by design, but it happened anyway. But eventually this is going to cause sporting events to be canceled. And I want you to keep that same energy when the Super Bowl is canceled, when something that you want to attend is canceled because there's martial law or a lockdown or a protest downtown. This will affect your life in one way or another. Well, there might be a mass strike. So, I mean, and they already started that on the 23rd yesterday in Minnesota. So I wanted to say that regarding, the people that are kind of like being very cavalier with this. The second thing, and speaking of being cavalier, had to do with Laken Riley and the fact that people just, I think because I have a daughter, that just hits different for me, that people trying to make a point on the internet use her name as like a punchline or like a way to like just add a little bit more weight to what they're saying. Do you know anything else about Laken Riley? Did you know what her interests were? Did you care to investigate anything about who she was? Or is she just a pawn that you use to win arguments on the internet? There's a point in this whole game where if you let it, the internet will dehumanize you. It will allow you to look at human beings as just pawns that you use and bring up to win arguments with other probable bots, instead of remembering that for the next 60 years, there's going to be an empty seat at Thanksgiving, Tory. That's what I always think about. I always think about weirdly Thanksgiving. And like just every year, long after we're past this, or there's been another unaliving tomorrow, or this gets wrapped up tomorrow, we will move on because that's the way civilization works. But those families will stay stuck on today for a long time, unfortunately. And I just hope that all the people that are just like, yeah, I don't care, and I'm glad that happened, I hope it never happens to somebody you love. Because I've lost people that I loved due to gun violence, people that I knew were fathers, people that I knew that were good people. And I think about them all the time. And, it's really sad that they're just other people that just find it as just like just another point, just another mark to make. But yeah, Tory, any other thoughts before I go try and get myself together? How do I go do comedy tonight?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. And I mean, to be honest, the comics are the truth tellers. So maybe acknowledge.
And did you see that Trump said that he wanted to get Seth Meyers removed? Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say about fascism? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we just fundamentally disagree. And again, I hope we're not normalizing this, seeing people get shot in the streets in daylight. Just we're all like, yeah, go, go, go. Like, this is what we want because, and then excuse after excuse after excuse. Like, I just hope you're not normalized to this and this still shocks you. And this violence still scares you because it's only escalating and it's coming from one side. So, my thoughts are with the man who is no longer with us, an American citizen who was taken down by 8 people and then shot point blank several times until
broad
he was
daylight
killed.
In the city that he lived in.
Yeah. Yeah. See, when you say that, like, again, don't harass ICE and impede ICE. You are legally and fundamentally allowed to protest peacefully. And from what we saw, the man didn't seem to be causing a mortal threat to these armed 8 men who were on top of him, punching him in the head. I don't understand your excuses. I never will. And, people died for your rights. Those 10 Bill of Rights, they also, by the way, apply to anyone who is not an American citizen. Then nowhere does it say these 10 Bill of Rights apply only to U.S. citizens. You can Google that. But people have died for the rights to go on. And that's what our founders wanted, so that they didn't want England and the monarchy to be able to come in and just kill whoever they want and go into their houses. That was the whole point of America. And for you to be like, yeah, you're vitally off course in terms of what an American is. It's just, we just fundamentally disagree. And unfortunately, it seems very unpatriotic to me. That's how I feel. Yeah.
All right. Well, Tory, we can't leave on a total bummer note. So tell me one thing you're looking forward to this weekend.
Going out to eat with Bert, for our old executive producer. And then I'm coming over to watch the Broncos versus the Patriots. So I'm
right
looking
here,
forward
right in this living room.
Yes, that's right. So we're going to watch Stidham try. He's going to try.
Right.
I'm so happy for him. I'm really excited for the game. I'm really excited.
Stidham sounds like something that you have in your eye that you can't really explain to friends.
Yeah.
Like, why weren't you at work yesterday? Doctor said I have like a stidham or something. I don't know. It's he said it's not bad. I am. Oh well. Let's end with some effing joy. I know that we already did Vibey Sports, but Tori, give us your predictions one more time and give us the scores for the game this weekend, because life goes on. We will honor this man by continuing to live in a free America for however much longer it lasts. So Tori, I'm going to write down your picks right now. What are you feeling?
I kind of don't remember
what I said, fine.
But I do believe
it's New England versus Denver.
I do think that the Broncos are going to take it, because I think.
So you think Stidham's going to win?
Yeah, and I think the Seahawks will win their game. So I think the Super Bowl is going to be the Seahawks versus the Broncos. It's the horses versus the Ospreys.
Okay. Now, what do you think the Seahawks need to focus on? Like, what strength in their team do you think they should focus on to get the win tomorrow?
If you guys don't know me, I don't know about sports. So this is just like
you go on vibes.
I'm going on vibes. I think they have to work on their speed and special plays.
Okay. That sounds like when you let grandma watch the kid. Mommy and daddy have a special play we're attending tonight. Therapist orders. All right, Tori. It's so good to see your face. Colleagues, I appreciate y'all jumping on. Sorry it had to be under this circumstance, but you guys know we are always here for you. And if anything else breaks, y'all know we'll be back. So, Tori, I love you, girl. We out.